แล้ว
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. A warm and gracious welcome to the inauguration ceremony of the Pgi-Hem-Onc Fest 2023. Today marks an exciting moment as we launch the much anticipated PGI textbook of laboratory and clinical hematology. Over the next 2 days, we will delve into the fascinating world of hematology, guided by renowned national and international speakers who will explore clinical, laboratory, pediatric hematology, as well as transfusion medicine. To commence our ceremony, I kindly request Professor Reena Das, Professor Pankaj Malhotra, and Professor Amita Trehan to extend an invite and escort our distinguished dignitaries to the stage. We are honored to have today Professor Vivek Lal, Director Pgi-MER Chandigarh, as our chief guest. We also have Professor Bakul Dalal, Professor at the University of British Columbia, Vancouver, as our guest of honor. Also, I would like to welcome Professor K. Krishnan, the chief editor of the PGI textbook of laboratory and clinical hematology, onto the stage. Thank you, sirs, for joining us. I request our residents to please extend a floral welcome to our dignitaries. Thank you. I now invite Professor Reena Das to please address the gathering and welcome our guests.
Good morning, everyone. It gives me immense pleasure and satisfaction to welcome the honored faculty, guests, and delegates, other invited members of our faculty, and the sponsors of the Pgi-Hem-Onc Fest 2023. On behalf of the entire organizing committee. In our institute, we are indeed blessed with having a super family of hematology, which includes the departments of hematology, clinical hematology, and medical oncology, pediatric hematology, oncology, and transfusion medicine. We have joint academic programs which benefit the residents as well as the faculty, and they can share their wisdom, knowledge, and vast experience. This conference is an outcome of the collaborative effort. A stint of training in PGI is known to induce epigenetic changes for bonding, fellow feeling, and brotherhood. We all look for an opportunity to meet our own alumni who continue to propagate the rich academic torch of the Institute all over the world, share expertise, wisdom, and inspiration. Delegates are an integral part for the success of any conference, and I welcome you all to this academic feast, which is being offered by our esteemed faculty of the conference. We encourage all junior colleagues to interact with the faculty to learn about various training opportunities in the field of laboratory hematology, clinical hematology of pediatrics and adults, and transfusion medicine to enhance your skills and knowledge. I once again welcome one and all present in this function and who will contribute to the success of this occasion. This is a very auspicious day because we will be releasing the book which has been written, and we'll have Dr. Pankaj Malhotra to tell us more about this endeavor of our departments.
I now request Professor Pankaj Malhotra to please introduce our guests.
Good morning to all the dignitaries, both on and off the dais, esteemed alumni and fellow hematologists. The Pgi-Hem-Onc Fest and the launch of PGI textbook of laboratory hematology and clinical hematology are not just the ordinary events. They symbolize our collective commitment to advancing our field, improving patients' outcome, and fostering collaborations. Today, we are not merely introducing a book. We are celebrating the legacies of countless individuals who have dedicated their lives to the pursuit of knowledge in hematology. We pay tribute to our esteemed alumni whose remarkable contributions have left a significant mark on our discipline and continue to inspire us. Events like this not only strengthen our bonds, but also facilitate the exchange of ideas and enrich our collective knowledge, propelling our field forward. Your presence here not only reinforces our community, but also sparks innovation. As we unveil this remarkable textbook today, we think of the patients who rely on our experience, our expertise, and entrust us with their care. May we carry the torch of knowledge forward with unwavering dedication, continuously seeking to deepen our understanding of hematology and striving to enhance the quality of care we provide. With these words, I extend a warm welcome to all of you to this conference and the launch of PGI textbook. Thank you.
Thank you, sir and ma'am, for those kind words. I now request all our dignitaries to please join us in the traditional lamp lighting ceremony, signifying the commencement of the conference, as the Saraswati Vandana also plays. I now invite our chief guest, Professor Vivek Lal, to please address the gathering.
It's very difficult to address the same gathering on 2 consecutive days. So, distinguished gurus of hematology, my teachers, and my most useless, useful student, Pankaj Malhotra. I'll share one joke. He was my first year in neurology. I'm a neurologist basically. And a first year in neurology, or for that purpose, a first year in PGI has only one job. मरीज का सैंपल सक करना है, ज्यादा सोचना नहीं है कहां पे वो सैंपल जाएगा. That's his job. He's not supposed to ask क्यों. That's not his job. This fellow would always trouble me. So why are we sending this? Why are we sending that? Pankaj will not remember that at times I would lose my cool. I actually would lose my cool कि I don't know, ये सवाल ज्यादा पूछता है, काम कम करता है. I mean, that is what the senior resident thinks when a junior resident is asking too many questions in PGI. But there was always something good about him. He will not know. Till about a decade ago, I used to keep his case histories. He will not remember his patients, but I remember them. And they're still on my follow-up. 30 years after. Pankaj, you did your MD 93, 94? 90? So I'm not very wrong. So I remember 93, 94. That's Naveen, when Naveen was here and you came after him. So his case histories are beautiful illustrations of the meticulousness which is the hallmark of this institute. So when Pankaj told me that, we are launching this famous book on hematology, I'm using the word famous because it is an all PGI effort. As a director, I'm so happy to see PGIs getting together for doing something constructive. And I couldn't believe when he said each and every author is from PGI. So I was reminded of a very famous incident in history, which I'm sure Pankaj will not know. He's not supposed to know, he's a hematologist. Long ago, the Kushan Empire used to rule India. That's around the time when Christ was born. You had the Maurya Empire, King Ashoka, and then you had Pushyamitra, and then you had the Kushan Empire. During the Kushan Empire, the Buddhists used to be very powerful. The Kushans are basically Buddhists who came from Mongolia. And that is how our civilization disseminated to Mongolia. So during that time, we used to have Buddhist sanghas, sanghs, where the monks would get together and they would think, they would go into a frenzy of thinking and something new would come out. And I just felt for a moment that you were calling this a Hemato-Oncology Fest. I call it a sangha. It's a sangha actually. It doesn't happen very commonly that you get a book, 3 volumes, 12 kgs, which no one can take so easily, and all written by authors coming from one institute in the whole world. I think we need to clap for that. That is a fantastic, unique achievement as far as I am concerned. And, as is in our blood, we tend to gloss over our achievements. We tend to ignore our achievements. But now I can't do that. I'm supposed to, highlight our achievements. Till a long time ago, or not very long time ago, I used to be on the other side of the fence. Now I realize I've got to glorify our achievements. So I would request you all to tweet that this is a unique feat. It's a unique feat that you are having a 3-volume textbook. I do not know of any other textbook which is written by authors coming from one institute. I am not aware of any such textbook in medicine. I am not aware. If maybe I'm ignorant, but I'm not that ignorant. Otherwise, I would have known. Because I know Robin's textbook, it's across the globe. I know Davidson's textbook of medicine is across the globe. Harrison is across the globe. Hematology, all from PGI. Hats off to you. I mean, this is a sung for me. This is a gathering of monks in hematology. I wish you all good luck. I hope this continues. And I also hope that other departments take you from this. This is not the only department which is doing you are doing fantastic work. There's no doubt about that. You're at the cutting edge of prestige science. There's no doubt about that. But there are so many other departments who are busy fighting with each other for no reason. When they have nothing to do, they start fighting and they come cribbing to me. That doesn't make sense. The important thing is learn from hematology. I would request each and every department to learn from hematology and, publish such books just coming from one department. Hats off to you, Pankaj. I do not know whose idea it was. Pankaj, whose idea it was. You deserve the PGI Ratna for that. And to get it through, all of us have ideas, but to kind of make it achieve and see the light of the day is something fantastic. I wish you all a grand success. And I hope and pray that other departments take you from you. There's another one thing very unique about this department. I do not know whether you're aware of that. As I said, we PGIs tend to overlook what is good about PGI. The clinical and the non-clinical, that is the lab component, the two are sitting next to each other and they get in very well with each other. That is why, I tell you why. What is the relevance of that important harmony? It's important that harmony should exist. So Sunil Arora was retiring. So people were, ab main bolunga to nahi, but I'll tell you the truth. Many were coming, mere ko bana do, mere ko bana do. I kept on listening. Everyone wanted to be a chairperson of that facility, but I had decided whom to make. Because the aim is to promote a department. The aim is to foster unity and friendship. That's my job. And I didn't even think twice before I made Reena Das the chief. And I know under her care, the department, the facility will actually now go full speed and will be on a pedal. I wish you all good luck. And if there is anything else you want from me, I'll be more than happy to provide it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for those words of encouragement. I would now request our guest of honor, Professor Bakul Dalal, please share a few words and tell us about the background of the book, and also to introduce Professor Victor Hofbrand, who has sent a video message and is also a part of our the inauguration from where he is. Professor Dalal, please.
It is very difficult to follow Dr. Lal. He is as good as the venerable, the fashionable Dr. P.N. Chitani was in terms of his oratorship. Professor Vivek Lal, the director of PGI, Professor Naresh Panda is not here. He is the dean of PGI. Professor Amita Trehan, Professors Reena Das and Pankaj Malhotra, my good friend Krishnan, my Gurujans and friends. We are gathered here to release a book. The month was December 2019. The venue was PGI, and the event was reunion of the Department of Pathology. I gathered the contact details of all the hematology and hematopathology alumni and set up a WhatsApp group that's still going on. Soon I realized the enormous depth and breadth of the expertise in this alumni group. I proposed at that time that we join forces to compile a book covering both laboratory and clinical hematology as a tribute to Professors Das and Marwaha. The idea was not new. It was old and was floated several times in past by Krishnan, by Ravi Sarode, by Dr. Marwaha, and many others. But this time it caught fire. It went on like wildfire. I had people coming out of woodwork saying it was a great idea and I will write this chapter or that chapter. Dr. Krishnan of Johnson City, Tennessee at that time was the most enthusiastic respondent, and he said he will take on the task and he will spearhead the project. And I said, great, let's do it. A small group of Sutradhars was assembled, a blueprint was created, and after 3.5 years, an intense intellectual work by 108 alumni of PGI and an enthusiastic, no-holds-barred support by Hemant Bhai and Himanshu Balani of Balani Publishing House, we have the final product. The PGI textbook of laboratory and clinical hematology is 3,250 pages long. It's in 3 volumes, and Hemant Bhai Balani insisted on publishing and printing it on good quality paper, and hence the 12-kilogram weight. It's a good exercise to hold 1 volume in each hand. It is strewn with 1,300 figures, 600 tables, and 10,600 reference citations. It covers both malignant and non-malignant hematology, basic lab diagnosis, and treatment parts. It's divided into 14 sections, 209 chapters, and it's available as hardcover as well as ebook. The ebook, you need to install it on your laptop and use this special app that will translate the sections that you highlight, the paragraphs that you highlight, into 60+ languages, including Hindi, Bengali, Urdu. It's a digital translation, so I don't know how good it is, but I'm sure it's pretty good. It's understandable, and it has a read-along feature. So if you are in a car and you want to read it, you can also listen to it while driving. Now to introduce Professor Hofbrand. I'm honored and delighted to introduce Dr. Alan Victor Hofbrand. Dr. Hofbrand is Emeritus Professor of Hematology at the University College London. Dr. Hofbrand got his medical degree from Oxford and trained in hematology at the Hammersmith Hospital, Royal Postgraduate Medical School in London. Subsequently, he moved to Royal Free Hospital in London, where he spent the rest of his career. In the 1960s, late Professor Eichert set up an academic collaboration with Royal Postgraduate Medical School, resulting in bilateral visits by senior and junior staff from both sides, like Dr. Das, Dr. Deepika Mohanty, and Dr. Victor Hofbrand, Sir James Dacey. They all visited each other's institutions. Dr. Dacey did a CPC here all those years ago when he missed the diagnosis. So that's where Dr. K.C. Das met Dr. Hofbrand, and that was the connection that lasted a lifetime. Professor Hofbrand was kind enough to look over the PGI textbook of laboratory and clinical hematology and has agreed to address us. He is not able to travel. He is 80+ years old, but we have video recorded his impressions of our book and his recollections of PGI and Dr. Das. So here goes.
It's a great honor to be asked by Professor Krishnan to speak at the opening ceremony of this conference in Chandigarh. I have a great love of Chandigarh and of Indian hematology. My first experience was when Kitish Das came as a research fellow with me at Hammersmith Hospital at the Postgraduate Medical School in London for a year of research. He proved to be one of my very best research fellows and did a wonderful job while with me. In return, the Ministry of Overseas Development, which ran the exchange program between the Postgraduate Medical School in London and that in Chandigarh, requested that I go to Chandigarh for a year there. I managed to bargain down to 6 weeks, which were 6 of the nicest weeks of my life while I lived among the staff and students at the PGI in Chandigarh. At that time, hematology at the PGI was extremely primitive. It was based in a single laboratory within the Institute of Pathology. And I spent substantial time with Professor Akat, the Professor of Pathology, and Professor Chutani, the Professor of Medicine, during my stay in 1971 in Chandigarh, trying to initiate an independent department of hematology that could run both the clinical hematology service and the laboratory hematology service. And I highly recommended Kitish Das to run this department. I thought he was outstanding and told them so. Well, you can imagine my amazement 50 more years later to see how, from those primitive beginnings, the hematology at Chandigarh has expanded and produced so many distinguished professors of hematology, both staffing departments throughout India, but also the rest of the world, particularly the United States, Canada, and the United Kingdom, and other countries. It's an amazing development, not only as the core of this program, that you're going to experience in the next 2.5 days conference, but also in producing a new textbook of hematology, this written entirely by graduates of the PGI Hematology Department, for which I was at the birth. Professor Krishnan and his co-editors have done an amazing job in producing a comprehensive textbook at a postgraduate level for both laboratory and of clinical hematology. And I wish both the conference and the book all success. It is so deserved. My honor extends to writing a foreword for the book, and I hope it competes with my own textbooks of hematology for sales throughout the India and the rest of the world community of hematology. So I thank you all. A lot of my great friends among Indian hematologists. I came back to India several times to other parts of the country, and I'm very fond of it, but sadly, I'm no longer able to do long haul flights, so we'll only be at the conference in spirit. But I wish it and you all the greatest of success.
We are honored to have Professor Hofbrand joining us at the inaugural ceremony through Zoom link. Professor Hofbrand, if you would like to share a few words of encouragement for those gathered here, please.
Hello, can you hear me? Am I?
Yes, we can, sir.
Audible?
Yes, sir, you are.
Oh, good. Well, I'm sorry I'm not with you. It's a great shame that I'm got a bit too old to travel. But again, it's fantastic and quite unbelievable what the PGI has achieved in hematology. Of course, it is the most exciting and advanced specialty in the whole of medicine. So you've all chosen a fantastic field in which to work. And I hope at least, even if you get to the 3,000 page PGI book, you might, some of you actually start as a taster on essential hematology. I know it's been read quite widely in India. I'm afraid it's only available in one language. Anyway, enough promotion, but I hope that the conference goes fantastically well. I listen to it as much as I can. We have World Rugby on here as well, so we have to watch that occasionally. I thank particularly Professor Krishnan, who really has corresponded with me, supported me, helped me, advised me, and invited me. But I thank all the conference. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Professor Hofbrand. Here is Krishnan.
Good morning, Victor. Thank you very much for coming online. It's a pleasure and honor to see you online and gracing the function. I very much appreciate your input over the several months as we prepared towards the final launch. It's much appreciated. And I hope to come and see you sometime when I come over to England, perhaps for a cricket series. And I would like to come and look at your apothecary collection, if I can.
Thank you, sir. It is now our distinct pleasure to invite all the dignitaries to unveil the first edition of the PGI textbook of laboratory and clinical hematology. I think this is the correct time to say that we have over 100 contributors to the book, all from PGI, and all of those who have contributed to the book and are gathered here can take their copies from the registration desk after the inauguration.
Dr. Hemant Bhai has kindly agreed to give all of the contributors an e-book. And if you would like a hard copy and an e-book, do come and see me. I think e-book is easier to carry to wherever you are going back. Otherwise, these days I haven't opened a hardcover book in so many years, but e-book I always refer to. So either way, come and see me about what would you like, a hardcover book or an e-book, and we can approach Hemant Bhai with a request.
I now request Professor Krishnan, the chief editor of the book, to please release the souvenir for the conference. Thank you, sir. I now request Professor Amita Trehan to please felicitate our dignitaries on the dais. Thank you. I now invite Dr. Arihan Jain, Organizing Secretary of the conference, to please deliver the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Charanpreet. I have the pleasant duty of expressing my hearty gratitude and appreciation to all those who have helped us in organizing the Pgi-Hem-Onc Fest 2023. At the very first, I would like to thank all our national and international faculty who have spared time from their busy schedules. Each one of them is a doyen in the field of hemato-oncology with a whole body of original research and clinical and laboratory experience, and their presence here reflects their commitment to furthering medical knowledge. We have been indeed extremely fortunate to have our esteemed Director Principal, Professor Vivek Lal Sir, as the chief guest, and his support and infectious dynamicity is an immense morale booster for the PGI community as a whole. Thank you, sir, for being with us today. I would also like to extend my deep sense of gratitude to our guest of honor, Professor Bakul Dalal and Professor Krishnan, both of whom had actually conceptualized the idea of this PGI textbook of hematology, but also they realized this idea. And I would like to take this opportunity to thank them, as this gave us a chance for all of us to interact and brought all the PGI hematology community together. I would also like to thank Professor Subhash Verma and Professor Neelam Verma, the inspiration that has motivated myself and a lot of my dear friends sitting in this hall to choose this wonderful field, and were available for guidance throughout at every step. The success of conference lies in the participation of delegates who are willing to imbibe knowledge and build partnerships to further their work. Participants have come all over the country, and this will be an opportunity to build lasting relationships amongst themselves. With more than 150 research posters submitted, we look forward to vibrant poster sessions in the coming 2 days. I express my deep sense of gratitude to Professor Pankaj Malhotra, Professor Reena Das, and Professor Amita Trehan. This trio has a legacy of organizing wonderful meetings. Their experience and supervision at every step made my job and our job very easy. Our departmental faculty, staff, dear students and residents have worked very hard to make your experience a memorable one. The collective efforts of Jasmeena ma'am, Manubdesh sir, Shano ma'am, Prashant sir, Narendra sir, Alka ma'am, Gaurav sir, Dipesh sir, and Charanpreet are gratefully acknowledged. I would specifically like to extend my gratitude to my co-organizing secretary, Dr. Srijesh, and my friends Nabajit, Praveen, and Pulkil. We all were the part of the core team. A special thanks to the pediatrics faculty, Professor Amita, Dr. Deepak Bansal, Dr. Richa, and Dr. Srinivas, who had meticulously planned the pediatric sessions, and my transfusion medicine team, Dr. Ratiram Sharma and Dr. Ashish Jain. A special thanks to the organizing team of the nursing workshop that was led by Dr. Srinivas and Sister Rosaline. We had an overwhelming response with a participation of 200 plus nursing professionals and some really good discussions on the various aspects of hemato-oncology nursing care. I specifically thank the Max Foundation for partnering with us for the wonderful CML Day patient meet that was held yesterday, that had a participation of more than 800 patients and their caregivers of chronic myeloid leukemia. I extend my appreciation to the institute staff and the audiovisual team, the sanitation, horticulture, and engineering departments, our website developers, Mr. Faiz and Nitish, and Mr. Jitender for providing excellent infrastructural help. Special thanks is due to our transport team for managing the smooth transfer of the faculty. Last but not the least, I appreciate with gratitude the financial support lent by our pharma industry partners. Though we have tried our best for making you all comfortable, inadvertent inconveniences may occur during the process. This is the month of Samvatsari, and I would personally apologize for them and seek Uttam Shama. And I assure you all that if there were any inconveniences, it was an inadvertent oversight. I do sincerely wish that you all enjoy the program as much as we did while making all the arrangements. Jai Hind, thank you.
All the authors, editors, contributors, please stay behind for a group photo.
Before we end, I would request everyone to please stand for the national anthem.
शुभ में जागे शुभ आशीष मांगे
Thank you all for your presence, and now invite you all for tea in the adjoining lawns. As said, please, the contributors, editors, stay behind for a group photograph.
All contributors are requested to come on stage, please.
We reassemble in Bhargav Auditorium at 10:50 for our session on hemolytic anemias. And for our pediatricians, we are starting at 11:30 in the APC auditorium on bone marrow failures.
না না
All the speakers of the next session, kindly submit your presentation backstage.
ये थोड़ा लड़ जाएगा ये थर्ड सेशन में
Good morning. Dr. Ganesh Kumar and Dr. Pranta Chakrabarti, please submit your PPT backstage for the next session.